You'll have your school account with your students and lessons and classes, and each teacher with his own class can see his students' performance. So it's going to be much more clear on what value can we bring. So that's the second thing. The third and last thing I want to say. Do you have a question about that? Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I will show you in a minute. Yeah, I will show you more deeply. But just for you to know it's there and there is a great ability to analyze the student performance. And the second thing I want to show you, it's the third thing, I don't know, I don't remember, um, which is huge leap that we did in terms of creating content. So if you remember back then, I said that we're providing out of the box ready-made lessons on the top three, on the first three levels, the pre-A, A1, and A2. Now we believe that that the schools would like to have lessons that are aligned to what they're teaching, aligned to their curriculum, aligned to their subjects. So we introduced a new way to create lessons, very easy one, which I think your teacher will very like. Okay. So for example, I can choose a level, I can choose the age and the target language, and I believe you're teaching only English, if I remember. Okay, great. Great. So you can create any lesson for any language, and there are templates where you actually choose the type of lesson you want to create. Could be a debate, a dialogue, planning, and so on. We've got different templates for different levels because the student levels are different. So not every template is for every student. For example, role play for A1. And here's the magic happens. You actually fill in the subjects that you want to talk about. If you talked about in the class about having a dialogue or role play in a coffee shop, you can do that. You can do it with airport or restaurant or whatever, right? So I've got that cheat button here. It's gonna fill it for me, for the lazy one of us. But obviously, your teachers can fill it however they want. And this mechanism allows you, and I can choose my own tutor. This mechanism allows you to create very fast, a very high level or high standard lesson on your topics. So you don't have to stick with my topics. Probably you've got an agenda, you've got something the teacher would like to say. Now, the final result, although it looks a bit boring and long, it's actually the detailed prompt that AI will get. And the reason we're showing the detailed prompt is that the teacher can change even a specific word if something doesn't work for him. For example, do you want milk with your tea? And maybe you want to change it to coffee. So you're going to change it to coffee here. That's it. And boom, you have a lesson. And that lesson, yeah, exactly. So we're building for you the initial prompt because if you don't have the experience to do that, you won't get a good result. So we're building the initial prompt with templates on based on your questions, your subjects, and so on. And the second thing we're gonna do that's going to be released in 2 weeks from now is that you will be able to upload to a template documents. So, for example, I want to do a story creation. I will have a button here that will allow me to upload the document in any language about a story or the story you taught in class or the vocabulary list you taught in class and so on. So the lesson will refer to the subject, not only to the subject, but also to the file that you uploaded. Okay? Exactly. That's where we're heading. We're heading to more personalized lessons based on your school subjects, context, curriculum, and so on. So those two sides, I'm not sure your teacher still saw the analysis side and the content creation side. So uh, in case you want to proceed, I'm happy to open the full account for your school, the teacher account, students accounts, everything, all the features. You'll send me a list of your students' names, personal names only. I don't need more than that. And the reason I need that because I will upload those names to the system, and the tutors, the virtual tutors, will grant those students with their personal name, like "Hi, Bradislav, how are you?" So we need the first name. It's very make it very personal. And once you do that, I suggest we're gonna open or we're gonna schedule even now uh, 20 minutes in the calendar, maybe with your teachers, just for the training part. I will do a training for you on your system. Okay, so you can record it and you'll know, and maybe you want to bring your teachers. And from that point, you're gonna take 3 weeks. You're gonna send it to whoever students you want. You're gonna evaluate the system based on the analytics. Maybe you wanna try to create your own lessons, and then we can see. If yeah. So we have our pre-made lessons. Those lessons we actually creating with this tool, and you all yeah. Look, all the no all the lessons sits in the lessons tab. You can see all your lessons here. You can play with them as a teacher before assigning them to the student. So you can check them yourself. And then let's say I've got a dialogue lesson that I'm happy, whether you created it or it comes from us because we created it, it's the same. So you decided that dialogue lesson is really suitable for the basic language skill class I have. I'm gonna assign it to the class. Once I did it, all the students in that class will see it and it will be available for them. Simple as that. Okay, I can also go to the classes or to the group themselves. And I'm gonna take the basic language skills that Sarah is the teacher over there. They've got 21 students. I can see each student's performance and I can see which lessons are assigned to that class. I can even reorder the lessons. So the students will see the first one on the top because they are more maybe more the beginner's one. Then the advanced will be later. Or maybe it's based on your curriculum. So, you know. No, we actually mail is for universities. We don't use it for schools because usually when the students are younger, they don't have email. We are actually generating emails for them. So here it is. We're generating emails. They are not real emails. They're just fake emails. They use it only for login. We're not sending anything to that email. Actually, we're not sending anything to your students. We don't have any interface with your students. It's your students. So those emails completely fake. The only thing I've got about your students is their first name. That's it. Very simple. So I'm not having first I don't want to keep any information of your students, especially if it's young people. So I don't want to. We're GDPR compliant, so we don't want this information. Um, cool. I agree. No, no, introduce some words for him. Yeah. 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 Completely. Yeah. Completely understand. Yeah. So there are two things I would like to say about it. First, I agree. I agree. For beginners, especially difficult languages, they're not ready to practice speaking. They're actually in the learning phase. They're not in the practicing phase at all. I would say. But two things. A, I'm not sure. We've got a pre-A lessons, what we call warm-ups. Those lessons are always led by the native language and not by the target language. So let's say Hassan, who knows Arabic, the lesson will be in Arabic, and the teacher in Arabic will tell him, okay, now tell me what's your name in English. So she actually practiced him in English, but she guided him in Arabic. That's typical for what we call the pre-A or warm-up lessons. I'm not sure you experienced that. Exactly. So I'm gonna add to your account that I will open for you also a package of the warm-up lessons. And you try it out. Okay? Um, exactly. Amazing, amazing. So that's one thing I want to say. The second thing I want to say is that we're maybe if it's not immediate, that's fine, but just for you to know, in the upcoming 4 weeks or maybe 5 weeks, we're gonna introduce additional features which are having another element in the conversation. Still, you need the native language led anyway, but imagine that you have an image as well, and you can talk about the image. So I'm talking about an apple and I see an apple. That really helps learning a language. Talking about the house, I see the house. So very soon we're going to introduce this capability of talking with some visual element. So, so we don't have visuals yet supported. You will be able to use your own custom images or let the AI generate one, but you will be able to control that. Obviously, because I don't want you to be showing a lesson with an image that could be inappropriate. Forget about it's not related to the subject. My concern is that AI will generate something inappropriate, and then it's very, very bad. So, anyway, the final control, maybe AI will suggest you as a teacher, but you as a teacher will have the final say on what element or what visual element will be presented because we can't afford to have something embarrassing, AI, it's AI, who knows what to do. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I want to show. Yeah. I want to show you something that I'm still not ready to sell, which means I don't think it's stable enough. So that's why I'm not suggesting, but it's already there in the system. So I went to the create lesson, and instead of the templates we use, we have the open mode, which maybe you try. But again, it's still not stable enough, but just for you to see where we're heading. I wrote in create a lesson about war capitals, use card match. Card match is our implementation for flashcards. Okay. So, and I wrote a single line. That's it. I didn't give him enough context. So if I would give him enough context, the lesson would be better. By the way, that's the disadvantage with open mode. If I'm not writing a full prompt, I'm not getting exactly what I want, or I don't know what I'm gonna get. So it took me a second to create a lesson, and now we're gonna tell him to speak in whatever language I want, but I know only English, so we'll keep it in English. Uh, let's say his native is Chinese, never mind. I'm gonna tell him to play.
Olá, Nissim. Bem-vindo à nossa aula sobre capitais do mundo. Vamos começar com uma atividade divertida de correspondência. Você consegue ligar cada país à sua capital?
So,
Agora é só arrastar e soltar a capital para o país correto. Lembre-se, Pense na relação.
I muted him. Yeah, I forgot to. I set his language to Portuguese, but we definitely have this capability of flashcards. Okay, so it's not something we don't have. He can speak in whatever language we want, and we have different activities that we can have. So if we're referring to those segment of students that you have that are very much beginners, we can create as many as lessons as we want with very basic elements. Basic because they needed basic, not because we have basic elements. We've got a lot of elements. So we've got flashcards and we've got word bank and we've got different elements that you can use. And it's actually pretty good. So I'm happy to explore that with you and try to build one lesson, only one, just for us to be convinced that this is good enough for that target audience of yours. Okay? It could be, so now it was Portuguese, could be Croatian, could be anything, and the native language could be anything. Again, language is not the issue here. And we can create very simple features. So if I'm going back to the creation environment, I'm going to tell him create another lesson. Just a minute, the Zoom here is in the way of everything. I'm trying to move. Yeah, the Zoom got crazy for a second. So as you can see, we started with speaking lessons, but we have different visual elements we can use already now as text quiz and picture quiz. So you see three pictures and you need to guess where is the apple. Repeat after me. Very important one. Word bank, card match. It's all available for you. And if you want, we can start looking at those as well. Speaking is much more easier in terms of limitation. There's less room for complexity. But if you want also to target that group that you mentioned, let's give it a shot. Let's find ourselves 30 minutes. We don't need more. Build a lesson that we're happy with, which is basic. Here's a world view. So there's an image and a word. So here's the sea. Here's an image of the sea. Picture view. Here's the picture. Let's talk about it. Word bank. So you've got all those tools that you refer to that are available. The only thing, the reason I'm not showing that at the beginning of my calls to schools like you is speaking is much more required than those kinds of tools. And B, today for creating lessons with those tools, we still need the open mode. We're gonna introduce tools to the templates as well. The advantage about templates is that they give you a very accurate prompt, final prompt. With open mode, you need to write the full prompt. That's why I want to help you. But it's definitely doable to get very good lessons for beginners in any language you want with those visual elements. Yeah. OpenAI and Gemini. Yeah, yeah. So there's only three companies in the world right now that offer real-time conversation. Up until 2 months ago, it was only OpenAI. And now there's Gemini and X, Twitter, that offers this same capability. So we're playing with those, for performance, cost reasons, those kind of things. You don't feel the difference as a customer, but that's what we're doing. So here's what I suggest. I'll split it into two. The first one is let's target the students that for sure uh, are the right one for speaking practice, like the low hanging fruits for now. Okay, I'm gonna create you a full account. All I need from you is to send me a list of students, and if you have classes, divide them into classes. Here's the student. I don't need levels. I don't need levels because the teacher send the lesson level according to his point of view, according to his understanding. So you're gonna send me. We're gonna open the calendar now. We're gonna find ourselves 30 minutes for training and bring your teachers in. Okay? And at the end of that lesson of that session, you're gonna start a trial with the students that you know that are great for speaking practice. And 10 minutes. Yeah. So I've got a team. Just CSV, Excel, whatever. Just send me a list of names with the classes. Anything works. Yeah, I've got a back office team that build those accounts for me. So you're gonna send me after the meeting or before the next meeting, and I will come ready for the next meeting. And so that's one. And then you guys gonna start 3 weeks, send it to your students, analyze it, create lessons. That's great. The second thing I'm suggesting, it's up to you. If you want to try to build together one lesson just for us as proof of concept for those creation group that you mentioned, or those beginners group that you mentioned, I'm happy to take the challenge. Let's find some time. I'm not sure if it's you or one of your teachers. You decide. And let's try. I think we can even offer something very unique for that group. Reasonable? Yeah. I'll give you a full account and then you can create whatever you want. So while you're here on the call, let's maybe try to schedule a meeting for the training session. Could be next week, but still, let's try to get something on the calendar. Yeah. What time is it for you now? 1. For you, it's 1:30. 12. Okay. So for here it's 1 p.m. already. So we are 1 hour ahead. So your 10 is my 11. Great. So yeah, that would work. No, no, that's fine actually. Your 10, my 11 on the 27th. That's great. It's tentative. If you feel like your teachers need a different time, let me. Of course, that makes sense. We're just nailing the date. Worst case, we're gonna move it. My calendars keep filling up, so I'm trying to schedule the important ones. Yeah, we're doing great actually in Latin America. It's like crazy. Yeah, people really need that. So, but by the way, again, if you're interested to be kind of a distributor in your country or like doing it with other schools, I'm happy to cooperate, to partner. Obviously, we are happy to pay for these kind of services. Maybe for later, I'm just throwing it to you. It's up to you. Obviously, you know your country better than me, and definitely. First, you need to say that it works for you guys. I agree. Great. I'm sending you the invite, and I'm gonna send you an email just to remind you I need the names of the students. And that great. Hmm. Great. Great. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Have a great day. Bye. Bye. Bye.